Hello, lovely people. This is Arwen from Evenstar. Welcome to my Facebook Live for this week, where my topic is one that I have decided to do because it seems to be something that people are looking at a lot on the interwebs. And I have a blog that I wrote a while ago with this title of Feeling Sick, Could Reiki Help? And it seems to be a very popular one. So I thought that it was time to delve into this topic again. And I hope that it's a question that you'd like an answer to, because this is where you're going to get it. So my next question for you is, how are people like onions? There's actually not a punchline. This is not a joke. I really want us to start to think about how we are multi-layered beings. And I spoke about this not so long ago when I did a blog and a live about our crown chakra, our seventh chakra, our spiritual energy center. So it's thinking about ourselves as not just physical bodies. The fact that we do exist on a mental level, we have a mental being, we have a spiritual being, we have an emotional being, and we can carry wounds on all of these levels. And what that means is that sometimes we don't really know what the underlying cause is of a physical illness. So something manifests in your physical body, you have a pain, you feel unwell, you're constantly having niggles in some area of your body or another. And what that means is that there's no doubt an underlying cause. So I want you to think of yourself like an onion. You have multiple levels, and to get to that inner level, that inner core of the onion, which seems so small and insignificant, but is actually, if you think about it, where it grows from to start with, we have to peel back multiple layers. And it is exactly the same with healing yourself. So what does this have to do with Reiki, with energy healing, which is really what Reiki means anyway? Whatever the modality, any kind of energy healing is going to work in the same way. And the way that it works is on all levels. So it will work on your physical body, but it will also work on all those other layers, on mental stuff, on emotions, on your spiritual being as well, which is what makes it so important. So what happens is, if we have a wound, let's call it a wound. So this could be something that comes potentially even from a past life, if that's something that resonates with you, something that may have even happened before you were born, or anything that may have happened to wound your spirit any time in your life. And you may not know on a conscious level what this is. You may not even remember it. But if we carry this with us and it starts to become something that festers and grows, and you think about it like if there was some mold in the inside of that onion, what would happen? It would spread. It would spread to the outer layers of the onion eventually. So you might find that you start to get very down, depressed, anxious. You might find that your emotions are really scattered, or that you just can't keep on top of things emotionally, can't keep balanced. You might actually find that that develops into a significant mental health problem, or something physical, as we've said. So a pain or an illness or a disease that is happening in your physical body. So we are talking about what is going on the inside will show on the outside. And look, most of the time we just can't know all that stuff that's happened on the inside. And we don't start to think about it until it presents in our physical body. And a lot of the time, even then, many people don't think about what might be going on deep underneath in those other layers of their being. So the short answer to my question of whether Reiki or any energy healing modality could help if you are feeling sick or have any pain, the short answer is yes. The beauty of using it, as I said, is that it'll work on any of those levels. Now, what you need to understand is if we are trying to get to those inner layers to fix something for once and for all, that is going to take a lot of work. So when people come to me with something that is really a very deep wound on the inside that's causing potentially a problem in their physical body, but maybe not. Maybe they're recognizing it as an inability to feel happy, to feel joy in their life. Whatever it is, one session of energy healing is going to start that work. But a lot of people will then go, well, I feel different, but I don't feel better yet. And in fact, at the start, you might even feel worse. Why is that? Because we are starting to move that energy around. We are starting to work and heal, and it is you doing the healing. So me, or whatever healer you choose to use, is just the facilitator of that journey for you. But it is going to take a lot of work. You can't expect, if you go to a personal trainer, that you have one session and you're going to be competing in the world titles of bodybuilding the next week. It's just not how it works. You've got to do the work. So a healing crisis, which I mentioned in my information about this live, is what we call it when we do actually feel worse after having some energy healing. So what's going on is that deep work is happening and it's uncomfortable. It's the same as an uncomfortable emotion. We often do everything we can to ignore it, to block it out, to distract ourselves from that uncomfortable emotion. But in fact, we need to let ourselves feel it. And the same with that healing crisis, you need to let yourself go through it. So definitely do not ignore it. You need to accept it, acknowledge it, but be willing to continue on with the work. What does that mean? That means go back for your next session. Continue being facilitated to heal yourself with whatever modality you want. But more importantly, you need to do what you can to look after yourself, to heal yourself. And if you're the same thing as with the personal trainer analogy, if you go to a personal trainer and then you do no exercise yourself, you do not move your body at all, you can't expect that when you go back for your next session that you're going to be much further down the road in improvement. You're going to be starting virtually from scratch again. So you need to do whatever you can do to help yourself in all of these scenarios. So what that means is using things that you can to help to heal yourself. And as always, I talk about my Evenstar 5-star wellbeing. So what can you do? You can nourish yourself with beautiful whole foods from the earth. So not eating crap, not eating junk foods, not eating food-like substances, making sure that you are giving your physical body the nourishment that it needs, and be very sure, be very clear that that works on all levels of your body as well. You might just think you're feeding your physical body, but in fact, you are feeding your mental health. You are looking after your emotional well-being and your spirit as well with the good foods that you choose to eat. Second thing you can obviously do is, going back to our personal trainer again, is move your body. So move your body as often as you can, and in a variety of ways. That's how our bodies are designed. So make sure that that is something that you're taking really seriously to help in your healing process. Obviously, if you have some serious physical thing going on, that might mean being careful about what movement you choose, but we are designed to move. Sleep is the absolute best healing tool that we all have freely available to us. It's the most simple thing that we can use, and the thing that so often we ignore. So prioritize sleep whenever you're going through healing of any kind. Fourth thing to talk about is making sure that you keep your surroundings as toxin-free as possible. So getting fresh air, drinking pure water, getting synthetic fragrances out of your surroundings, avoiding pollution or doing things that you can to counterbalance that. So using things like your salt lamps, like your essential oils, using other things like vitamins and minerals if you need that boost, and bark flower remedies, homeopathy if that's something that you're into, all things, crystals as well, that can support your healing journey. You need to be doing that in between any sessions that you might have with a healer who's facilitating healing for you. And the last thing, of course, is being. So letting yourself be a human being, not always a human doing. Allow yourself the time to literally step back and smell the roses, meditate, doing things that you love. We have to have joy and passion in our lives to be whole and to be balanced. So prioritizing that as well. They are all things that you can and need to do to facilitate your own healing journey. So if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to contact me directly. And if you would like to book in a session with me, then also absolutely, of course, feel free to do that. Do remember that if you're not close to one of my studios, which are in Victoria, then you can always book in for a remote session with me. The beautiful thing about using universal energy is that it's all around all of us, and we don't actually have to be in contact with each other in the same physical space for that healing to occur. So it's actually amazing stuff and so powerful. In the meantime, please be well and have a beautiful weekend. Bye.